the making the money is great, and sustaining people and being able to employ a lot of great people is awesome. But to essentially be in the world and be able to give back in a huge way is like, there is no greater feeling. It is selfish, you know?
There he is.
What's going on?
What's up, dude? How are you?
Good. My face looks huge in this frame. Hold on, I'll try and...
I have the same problem. Everyone thinks we're twins. So right when I logged on, I was like, I need to scoot this thing back. My face is too big.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious.
I know.
Yeah.
How
I
you
guess
doing?
people can determine now. Now we're really face to face. People can determine whether we are twins.
I know. It's actually good because I think from farther away, people think we're a lot closer. But here, I think that we look different.
Yeah, I do too, actually. We don't actually look that alike.
I think it was just when we were playing basketball and like we were wearing similar things and like kind of similar mannerisms. So from like far away on a basketball court, if it kind of makes sense.
That's
But
true.
this helps.
And,
This clears it up.
And we are passionate about the same thing, so we get fired up in the same way.
We do get fired up in the same way. We put this up on our story and people sent in a bunch of questions. So our marketing team just sent me through a note with some of the questions. So maybe I'll pepper them to you and we can just talk through some of them and answer some of the community's questions.
Let's do it.
Cool. Okay, and we might have already answered some of these, so we'll just roll with it. Is Matt an investor? You answered that you guys are all investors, which is awesome. Maybe talk about how that came to be, like just that story of how you guys started thinking about it. I kind of remember. I'll let you tell the story though.
Well, I'll tell it from my perspective.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, you remember this dinner that we had with all these amazing entrepreneurs like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That totally. Taylor set up. So it was us, you and I, and about 8 other incredible entrepreneurs in LA. And we were all sitting down at dinner at this table, and everybody was going around explaining what their company was. And so I went around and I said, I'm just part of YesTheory and make videos around seeking discomfort, and we have this great community. And then all these people went around, and then you went around. And I will never forget everybody at the table just being so locked in, because the way you described your business and the exponential growth that you've experienced and the give back message as well on top of it, it was like people left that dinner, and I'll never forget it. I was with 2 of the other guys from the dinner, and we were walking away from the dinner, and everybody was like, if I could put any kind of investment into this company, if Brandin would just let me, then I would. And I thought the same thing. I was like, it's too late, but it would be amazing to partner up and like invest no matter how much into Liquid I.V. And then the opportunity came up last year with the round that you were doing with Scooter, and we were fortunate enough. Honestly, like on our part, it was such a blessing to join in. I'm like, we were part of like the A-listers of A-listers, Justin Bieber, Kevin Hart, Kendall Jenner, and it was like YesTheory. And I was like, dude, how did we get in?
I love that. That's such a great story, man. You're making me blush over here.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, that you believed in us enough to be part of such an epic squad, you know. Well, seeing the posts that you guys have been sharing on the frontline workers with their Liquid I.V has been so cool, and you can tell. I mean, I didn't know that you guys had made a decision to switch the events team to COVID relief, but that is so freaking brilliant, dude. That makes me so hyped. That is such a great idea.
Couldn't even sit down.
Yeah, dude, I had
can't
to stand
stay
up.
sitting.
Yeah, I think it's in a way it just elevates whatever brand decide to do these kinds of things, you know, like with Seek Discomfort. Brian, our CEO, really wanted to commit to donating masks, to donating to food banks. And now we're actually talking about maintaining that after the fact, after all this is over. Like, how do we keep giving back in a huge way? I know you guys, I mean, giving back is such a huge part of your mission already, which is why we invested, which is why we believe in you so much. Is like, and you realize this earlier than most entrepreneurs, I think, ever realize it, which is that's the goal. You know, the impact is ultimately the goal. The making the money is great, and sustaining people and being able to employ a lot of great people is awesome. But to essentially be in the world and be able to give back in a huge way is like there is no greater feeling. It is selfish, you know? And once you do get even a little bit of a taste of it, you just want to freaking constantly give and give and give and give
I know, man.
and it always gives back tenfold. That's the thing. It always gives back tenfold.
I love it. I think even in the beginning, I used to think that like maybe like the business and the give back part were separate. And I think as I've grown up and matured and just realized what drives me personally and sort of instilled that as our true north in the company is that they're not disconnected at all. Like our true north is helping people everywhere live better lives, right? And so what does that mean? It means making a product with the best ingredients, telling the best stories around that. So with science that really works for people and for people to commercially buy it because we need the funding in order to run the business and keep growing, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, that same product we're creating and that same mission of helping people everywhere is part of, you know, the give back is part of that, right? Like giving back to people who are less fortunate and can't buy the product, right? Like global give back, global sustainability, things like that. And so I've just realized that like my true north is helping the most amount of people. And like that perfectly fits in with the business too. They don't have to be separate, you know?
100%. And I think these moments genuinely bring out the best in people. Obviously there's cases of people, you know, not bringing out the best in them, but I'd say the majority of people are really like you're truly seeing the good in humanity during times like this, which is it's so freaking inspiring to hear stories of all over the world, people on the front line just like sacrificing everything, sacrificing freaking everything.
Their own families, right? Their own health and their own families. It's just wild.
Yeah.
But that's what they signed up for. So for them, it's so cool. Like they're like, yo, this is my time right now. Like this is our time to step up. This is our challenge. And that just gets me so fired up because then when I relate that to business and I relate that to our team or other businesses, it's like if you have the right mindset, there's opportunity in all of this. Is it scary? Is it uncertain? It's so damn scary, right? But like if you can if you can look for those pockets of opportunity, there is positivity in all of this, you know?
And this is why I'm so excited to help you in your journey of telling your story, because and this is the quality that we look for most in people who join our team. Like I think Zach has this quality as well. It's like the ability to be so efficient and such a good leader and make things happen, but also have such strong moral values and not like move away from that. I think that's the future leader. That's the future transparent leader. And you have it, man. Like you're such an inspiration to me and essentially like an older brother. Who knows? Maybe we are brothers. Maybe genetically in our ancestry, something happened and there was like a line that went like this and split in two, but we're descendants of the same people. I don't know.
Thank you, dude. I really appreciate it. I mean, it's so cool to hear you say that because I truly do. I don't know if we can both look up to each other, but I truly do look up to you guys, to you specifically. Right when we met, there was just some sort of like click. It was like both of our energies just rose. Like we couldn't slow down, you know? It was like, which is the kind of friendships you should have, you know? And then just you guys as a group, like I think I've texted you after different videos. I can't remember the one where I can't remember. He was like really sick and he passed away, but it was like such an incredible story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Xavier story. And then the guy from Australia who fell and hit his head and Luke, yeah. And so I mean, I've literally watched you guys' videos and like I'm at home and this is in my independent alone time and like I'll just like break down, man, because it's so inspirational that you guys are able to tell these stories and all the people that is it affecting around the world. It's like the ultimate CTW. Like I have it tattooed on my wrist, right? And it's what you guys do every day. And so hearing you say that, it means everything. And I pour my heart into trying to be the best leader I can. And so when you say that, it's awesome. And just know that you guys are doing the same for me and a lot of other people around the world. So
feelings mutual, baby.
Cool, man. Everyone, thank you for listening. Stay positive. We're going to get through this together. Like, we're all in this together. We will make it through. And I love you all.
Love you all, guys.
So, guiding principles. Alicia made some flashcards. I saw the flashcards, Alicia. I don't know where you are on here, but those are cool. So I'm just going to like randomly select with my mouse right now someone to call on. And I want to hear how a guiding principle helped you in your last week. I'm going to close my eyes, actually. That's a better way to do it. So, okay, Steph, it's on you.
Okay, so I think mine would be bluff is something that I'm really working on is number 7, bottom line up front. I think after our last meeting, when you kind of touched on, you know, just because you have a lot of ideas doesn't mean they all need to go in at once and you like pick the best ones. So I've been working on that with working with Alexis, with making my decks and designs. It's instead of giving her 10 designs of like good designs, it's like give her 3 that are really good that I'm really proud of. And so that's sort of like my bottom line up front.
I like it. It's a good one. Anyone else on a guiding principle? Russ, let's hear it.
So Mark and I have really been focusing on number 9, slow to plan, fast to execute. Given the current economic state what we're in, and it's so unknown, and it's like this has never really happened before, we really are trying to plan exactly the best strategy. So we're kind of readjusting and now shifting our plans to manufacturing and industrial, because that's what's going to really keep this market going economically, is jobs in like factories and manufacturing plants, you know, targeting some of the companies that are maybe, you know, doing the gowns and all kinds of different stuff like that. So really slow to plan, but fast to execute, like run right when we figure out like what is the most, like where are we seeing the most success right now in the market.
Cool. Anyone else on a guiding principle?
I got one.
Yeah.
For me, rocks has been really important the last like week or two, just because we're like transitioning from Q1 to Q2. There was like, you know, wrap up last quarter, you have to create new plans for this quarter, new trackers. It just feels like there is a lot of really big priorities. So keeping like your rocks super visible, always looking back at what your priorities are, because there's just so much other clutter going on that just like what you really have to accomplish right now is super important.
So I think that's the truck to do this. So Liquid I.V is proud to be partnered up with Food for the Poor. Actually, this container is on its way to Guatemala. They're a great organization that we're donating 195,000 servings just on this container. We have a lot more to come. And they're helping so many people down there in Guatemala, especially those who are suffering for COVID-19. And there's a lot of malnutrition amongst the kids, a lot of immunity issues. So they're begging to have a little bit more ORS and hydration products like ours, delivering micronutrients, minerals, and just a healthy way to that intake is going to help those kids out tremendously. So we're honored to be part of that team and anxious to get this out the door. Look up and down. Look at this right here. This is all Liquid I.V, people.
Oh, let's take you to the package.
Liquid I.V, all the way up and down. Liquid I.V. We're getting a bunch of new donations out to the Salvadorian American Humanitarian Foundation, an amazing organization that really helps millions of people in Salvador. And we're sending them an entire container of product. We're happy to create a strong new partnership.
I'm Kip Branch, Partnership Development Director at MAP International. We'd like to thank one of our new partners, Liquid I.V, for this fantastic donation of ORS certified products. We're unloading the trucks now here at our distribution center in Brunswick, Georgia at MAP International. And we want to thank Liquid I.V for your gracious donation. It will affect many, many people around the world and bring much needed relief for a ORS and meet the need for ORS and rehydrate millions of kids around the world. So thank you, Liquid IV, for this fantastic donation.
Last thought on the new levers is I'm reading a book called The Obstacle is the Way, and it's just about in history, like forever. Like I'm not really that big of a historian, but like all the way back to like Marcus Aurelius, and then all the way through to like Margaret Thatcher and Barack Obama, like all spanning history, how all of the best leaders and the biggest triumphs only came because they were facing their hardest challenges, like person by person. It's just the craziest thing to think. That like in some way those people actually looked forward to the chaos of a crisis because they knew that they were going to handle it better than everybody else. And it's the most empowering feeling to think that the bigger the challenge, the more the opportunity that we, because of the way we think, that's the opportunity that we have.